Good morning, student. Today we again have a geography chapter, and this time we have a second chapter of geography, that is uh, main features, main physical features of India. Most important, most enjoyable chapters from geography section, because geography always have we feel the nature, and nature provides us a pleasure. Hope you will also feel pleasures while this lesson. In these chapters, we will discuss about the how the mountains, plains, continents become formed. Also, we discuss the northern plains, the greater Himalayas, and peninsular plateaus, icelands, and the Thar Desert. In this chapter or in this part of video, we will discuss just about the theory that how seven continents are formed, and second we also discuss about the greater Himalayas. Let's start the lesson. First, we have a main physical features of India. India has a vast country, and we have a main landform, various of physical features. We have a Himalaya, we have a features, we have a Thar Desert, we have a Deccan plateaus. All things we have. In the soil, we have every soil is different from different regions and other areas. For example, in the Maharashtra, we have a black and red soil. In Madhya Pradesh, we have a red soil. In Punjab, we have a alluvial soil. So soil is always different. It depends on the formation of rocks, how its soil is formed, and we it's made from different periods. And India that looks today, it's a long period for its formation, and different facts are reasonable for its formation. Today we look a process how the plains are formed, how rivers and coastal areas are formed, how mountains are there, how plateaus are there. So there is a theory that scientific have. That theory is known as a theory of plate tectonics. There are the seven continents we know, but these are joined with each other, and by the forces from Earth's inner side, the tectonic forces separate from them, and then these continents are formed. According to the theory of tectonics, the all continents are joined, and there is only the single plate. So, under the inner forces from Earth, these plates separate from each other and divided into the subparts of the small plates. These plates are known as continent, and this theory is known as the theory of plate tectonics. How these movements occurs? Students, we know that Earth is formed as a folding, like your book or your copies have a pages, and this is they have the fold. When fold are those which have layer on layer and layer on layer, and these fold mountains are always increasing by increasing, like this have local plane, then we have a fold, and this is upper side. And how small and time then will be this upper side will be increasing. How this is increasing? This is increasing by the tectonic forces, by the inner forces like a volcano, earthquake, and these increase the height of that place. So this is the reason why some mountains have its height increasing by day and day, like Himalayan mountains. Then we have the three plate boundaries. First, we have a convergent boundaries. Convergent boundaries have one is lower boundary, then is they become one. They joined with each other like this. This and this boundary joined with each. Then one boundary is lower side and one is upper side. Then transformations, transform, transform boundaries. These boundaries have formed when two planes move past with each other, means they have to separate from them. Then divergent boundaries, when one boundary is divergent into the two forms or subparts, that is known as divergent boundaries. Then we have a Gondwana land. Student, we know that there is a theory of the plates. So I always said you there is a one place or one continent, then it divided into the seven continent. That place is known as Gondwana land, and by the tectonic forces it separate from each other and then is formed like formed with each other from different land masses. So, and these Gondwana lands have number of land masses, including the South America, Africa, Antarctica, Australia, Indian subcontinent. These have joined, but by this they have to separate from themselves. And before this, there is only a one land that is known as Gondwana land. And after that, the players continue separate from separate. One place, one plate that separate from Indo Australian plate, that is from north side we have, that is then become a Australian. Then some other plates separate from each others. And there will be the sedimentary rocks you have, and by these are known as accumulating in the geostalines known as a Tethys, which were the fold mountains of the Western Asia and Himalayas. And by the uplift of this, these becomes higher and higher. But there will be a basins. Basin is a place that is related to the rivers, and when rivers have the sediment materials like small rocks, soils which have flows with the river waters, they leave that sediment material on one place, then basins are formed. So these are very fertile alluvial soil. These are plains are known as North Plain of India, where India mostly fertile land is in northern plain, as Punjab is also in the northern side. So one of the oldest physical feature in India is the functional plateau. These are made from igneous and metamorphic rocks. These have the wide valleys, like we have most and hilly areas. Himalayas are the one of the younger physical feature of India as compared to the others. It consists the high peaks, deep valleys, and rivers that always flows very fast. Now we discuss major physical divisions of India. First we have a Himalayan mountain, then we have a northern plains, then we have a frontier plateaus, then we have a Indian desert, then coastal plains, then Indian icelands. First we have a Himalayan mountains. Himalayan mountains are known as a fold mountains. Student, you know that what is the fold mountain? Fold mountains are those mountains which are formed by layer, like your copies which have the pages from 1 and 2 3 4 5, there are the 100 pages are there, which from 1 to 1, this is known as fold. It is placed on the northern part of India. Here we have a northern part, this is known as a Himalayan mountain, are young as compared to the other like peninsular plateaus, coastal and Thar desert. It is one of the highest mountain ranges. The world's most highest place, like Mount Everest, K2, Godwin Austen, Kanchenjunga, and other major peaks of the world are placed in the Himalayan mountainside. Then it extends from Indus River and in the west and Brahmaputra in the east. So these it is placed between the Indus and Brahmaputra river. It is formed arc. Here we have a arc, and this length is almost 2,400 kilometers, and its breadth is ranges is different from place to place. To here on the side of Kashmir, it's more breadthy, like 400 kilometer, and on the other side, when we reach in Arunachal Pradesh, here it different is almost 150 kilometer. And altitude. Students, you know about the altitude. What is altitude? You use these terms in the some mathematic concepts. You have to know, but in this here we have a different meanings in the social science. Altitude is of the mountain is related to the level of sea. How much it height from sea level, that is known as altitude of mountain. So altitude of mountain is always different from. It has the three parallel ranges. First we have a Himalaya, Himadri, then we have a Himachal, then we have a Shivalik. First we have a Himadri. Himadri is known as Greater Himalaya or Inner Himalaya. It is most loftiest peaks which average height is 6,000 meter. Then it contains the world's highest peaks. Then it's also have the natural mathematicals by natures. So core of these Himalayas are composed by genetic genites, and these are mostly covered with the snows, and the number of glaciers are found in Himalayas. Then we have a Himachal. Himachal is south from Himadri, and second most rugged mountain system is there. It is also known as a Leisure Himalaya, and altitude from in Himachal is different from different. It's between the 3,000 700 from 4,500 meters, and average breadth is almost 50 kilometers. Then most famous peak here we have a Pir Panjal, who is longest peak. Then we have a Darsladar Mahabharata, and one of the famous valleys in here we have a Kashmir, we have a Kangra, we have a Kullu valleys. So it is known for its hilly stations. Then we have a Shivalik. Shivalik is known as most outer range of Himalaya. Its average breadth is 10 to 50 kilometer, and altitude is different from 900 to 1100 meters, and it composed by unconsolidated sediments. Unconsolidated means which have mostly rocky but less soily. So it is known as a unconsolidated sediment, which is brought by the rivers from mid Himalayas from northern sides, and these are covered as a gravel and alluvium. Its longitude varies between the Leisure Himalaya and Shivalik is known as dunes. Dehradun, Kotli Dune, Patli Dune are one of the famous dunes in the India. Then Himalaya is different. If now we have a divided by the area, now we have to also divided by the river valleys. The area which is between the Indus and Satluj is known as Punjab Himalaya, and it is also known as Kashmir or Himachal Himalayas. from west to east respectively. It is the part of Himalaya which is from Satluj to Kali River, known as Koram Himalaya, and from Kali River to Tista River is known as Nepal Himalayas. And the area between the Tista and the Hang River known as Assam Himalayas. We again check it. The area between Indus and Satluj known as Punjab Himalaya, and area between Kali River is known as Koram Himalaya, and area between the Kali and Tista River is known as Nepal Himalaya, and area between Tista and the Hang River is known as Assam Himalaya. So it is divided by the on the base of river valleys. Now we have how this is beneficial for India. We now discuss it. It is main as a natural wall for India from northern borders, which is difficult to cross. So it protects from invaders. It also protects India from cold winds. So you have to imagine what would happen if there will be no Himalayas in the north side. Then no Punjab agriculture is there. It is full from cold waves and snow valleys. There is nothing for agriculture. Your houses are full of ice, like you have to live in the igloos. You more and more imagine if you think that if there will be no Himalaya. Mostly rivers always carries the fertile soils and sedimentary material. And why this? The northern plains have most fertile alluvial soil. These plains or rivers also help to generate electricities, as mostly hydroelectricity is generated from these rivers, because these rivers flow from whole years, not for seasonal. And moreover, it is put the check on rain varying monsoon winds. Friends, why this? Mostly Punjab, Himachal areas have the mostly northern sides have the rain due to this, and it have the valuable woods, herbs in its woods or in its forests, which it is also a natural home of many wild and animals and birds. It is a natural source. It have and holy places of different religions. It is mostly attractive for the tourist who wants to live, who wants to spend times in the one of the places, because this is known as heaven of India, heaven of earth, mostly the Kashmir and Srinagar areas. So it also attracts the tourists. This is all about the northern plain, all about the Himalayan valleys. We further discuss about the northern plains and other main physical features of India in the next part of this video. Hope you will enjoy your times while staying to homes and also staying with the natures. Also discuss what would happen. So whenever we have in the classes, we will discuss what would happen if there is no Himalaya. Just imagine where you have, how you can spend your time, what kind of clothes you have. Just imagine, because imagination's always a best thing. Thank you. Have a nice day.